And we continue at 1:07 in the afternoon. Talk Radio 790 KABC, the John Phillips Show, broadcasting live from the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa Living Room Studios. Mr. Randy Wang's at the sports desk across the glass.
Here's the second track that Cecily Meyart Cruz is featured on in Frampton Comes Alive.
She adds pissed off to everything. Have you noticed that?
She really does. Even when it's completely not warranted, like in this Karen Carpenter classic. There's some alliteration for you.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me all the way pissed off.
I think that was supposed to be down.
Well, you can't accuse her of not being consistent.
Ooh, baby, I love the way pissed off.
800-222-KABC is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. We're going through an interview that L.A. Mayor Karen Bass recently gave about the crime wave here in Southern California. Her theory is that people are committing acts of smash and grab robberies because it's summertime.
Crazy from the heat.
Okay. Let's listen to more of her interview with Public Radio.
Besides summertime, though, Mayor, what's behind, you think, these specific...
Without any pushback on summertime, let's move on to another topic.
Yeah. If there's anything, by the way, that deserves pushback that's come out of her mouth, it's blaming the crime on the season.
Besides summertime, though, Mayor, what's behind, you think, these specific crimes? Not just luxury goods, but also, at least recently, we've seen reports of gunpoint robberies of small businesses like food trucks and taco stands around the city.
Well, I do think it's important to separate the crimes. I think those are crimes of opportunity. They're also lower level crimes, as you can imagine, how much cash would be in a taco stand. And obviously those...
Why is she completely discounting the fact that he mentioned the armed robberies of the taco trucks?
Yeah, I don't know if I would regard those as lower level. These poor taco salesmen have guns stuck in their face.
Stand, and obviously those are terrible and need to be addressed. But the type of retail theft we are talking about, where you are stealing goods where a purse might cost $15,000, $20,000, we need to look at the online platforms where these goods are being sold, because you're not taking Gucci bags for $10,000 and selling them in neighborhoods for $200 or $300. These individuals are putting these items online and selling them for a lot of money. We need to find out which online platforms are receiving and selling stolen goods, and those platforms need to be held accountable as well.
She didn't even want to talk about the armed robberies of the taco trucks.
Okay, there's nothing realistically that can be done about this. Think this through. Let's say you're eBay. Let's say you're Amazon. These are woke companies from Northern California. Think about what types of people work there. It's all college grads, a lot of whites, a lot of Asians. They live in places like San Jose, San Francisco, Atherton, the East Bay. You get the idea. They have no clue where the products that are being sold on their platforms are coming from. They don't vet them. You don't have to show them a business license. You have something to sell on eBay. All you need is some kind of handle and then a product. And they just provide the platform. They're just people that rent space at the swap meet. It's not the individual selling the item that they are. They're just the people providing the space. If all of a sudden they have to vet everything and you have to prove to them that the items that you're selling are not in fact stolen, that's like an entirely new department that doesn't exist. And if you're trying to blame the people who are buying the products, they have no clue who they're buying it from. They just type in whatever kind of handbag they're looking for. A million of them pop up on eBay. They pick the one that has the best price or the seller that has the highest ratings, and they buy it. That person doesn't vet the person selling the purse. You just look at them, and if they look legit based on the information they provide to eBay, you're good to go to buy your purse. You don't know how they got the purse. You don't care how they got the purse. But it's not your job to be an investigator. And I'd also add this. If they create some kind of algorithm that says, all right, you meet certain criteria and we believe that you're the type of person that would sell stolen goods on our platform, so therefore our algorithm will cause us to block you, and it disproportionately affects people of color, they're going to be accused of racism day one. And they're not going to want any part of that. If you're eBay, if you're Amazon, and you're accused of being racist, or at least conducting racist policies, that's bad news for you and your business, and you want no part of it. So in this case, they're damned if you do, they're damned if you don't. The way to stop this from happening is to create a sense of law and order in your city so that these smash and grabs don't take place in the first place.
We don't need to go up the food chain if there are actual consequences for the people that are breaking into the stores and stealing the product.
Right. That's the point of failure. The fact that they can do that without even worrying about going to prison.
They caught one guy so far, and he got out on no bail. Even with all the charges they levied against him, not a serious crime. I'm sure he'll show up for his court date, and I'm sure in between now and then, he won't break into any other fancy stores.
No, if you're him, it's the perfect crime. It doesn't even matter if they catch you, as long as you take the goods and you hide the goods before you get caught. Because I heard that they arrested him. I did not hear that they found any of the goods that he stole on him.
Those were quick sellers.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he had Yves Saint Laurent bags on him.
Hot on the market.
Karen Bass was also asked about the level of staffing at the LAPD.
Mayor, do you have enough police officers to patrol and protect business owners and the people who patronize them?
No.
Not even close.
No, we don't. I mean, Los Angeles, the number of officers are down. We are now below 9,000 officers, and we haven't been that low in over 20 years. That is why we've raised funding. We've just finished negotiating a contract with the union that goes before the city council next week. We're providing incentive pay to encourage people to join the department. And
We're getting so desperate, we're offering signing bonuses.
It's like we're a professional baseball team.
And so we do need to expand the force, but I don't believe that that is a reason why these crimes are happening. There's not organized retail theft because the numbers of officers fell below 9,000.
You know, if we raise enough money, maybe we can make the LAPD do a trade with the Angels and we get Shohei on the force, arm him with a bat, he'll be good to go.
Well, if you hire him as a police officer, because he's dual threat, he can actually arrest them and prosecute them.
Now, here's an interesting one. Final question of this incredible interview on KPCC with A. Martinez and Karen Bass. He's asked about if the residents and the tourists of Los Angeles should feel safe in the wake of all of these crimes that are getting reported on a daily basis.
Mayor, these videos paint a very scary picture. So what do you want business owners, shoppers, diners, and tourists to know about how safe they are in Los Angeles?
Well, what I want them to know is that they are safe in Los Angeles. Crime trends show crime going down. However, when you
Wait, what trends?
She's doing the same thing that George Gascon did. Same thing.
Because you could definitely say arrests are down. We're not catching any of these people. And charges are down because everything gets kicked down to a misdemeanor.
Think about what she's saying here. She's saying crime is down, and the real criminals are the ones in Silicon Valley and the people purchasing these products.
Oh, there's another villain to this story, too. Just you wait, Johnny.
Well, what I want them to know is that they are safe in Los Angeles. Crime trends show crime going down. However, when you have a spectacular type crime happen like this, it does create a sense of fear. But one of the reasons it does is because it's exploited by the press, and especially the conservative press that wants to paint Los Angeles and many other Democratic-run cities as though we are in a crisis of crime, and that is not the case.
So literally, by showing you the videos of the smash and grabs, She's saying it's the media sensationalizing crime when, in fact, crime is going down in Los Angeles.
And it's all those conservative outlets like Channel 2 and Channel 4 and Channel 5 and Channel 7 and Channel 11.
We could say Channel 9, but that's part of Channel 2.
Same thing now.
What she's doing here is a couple of things. First and foremost, she's blaming the media for playing these videos. She would prefer that you not see these smash and grabs. And that's another Gascon tick. He always says crime is actually going down, and you can take isolated incidents and blow them out of proportion, and the media should do their job. He scolded the media last week. We played the sound for you, saying that they're not reading his reports, and they need to do their homework, and they need to report it the way he sees it.
Yeah, this was that exchange last week.
What do you say to the person who points a finger at you, saying that there are people in this community who believe they can get away with serious crime in LA County and not be held accountable?
Well, I would ask you the question, what would you tell him when you just heard me speaking right now? Because I think you have a responsibility also for addressing it, right? So I would hope that you do so.
How dare that reporter not arrest somebody at the thing he wasn't at?
Right?
And this is Karen Bass blaming the media for airing videos that are taken of brazen crime with no consequences, which is a newsworthy event.
When you have a spectacular type crime happen like this, it does create a sense of fear. But one of the reasons it does is because it's exploited by the press, and especially the conservative press that wants to paint Los Angeles and many other Democratic-run cities as though we are in a crisis of crime, and that is not the case.
Okay, let's go back to when she was on the short list to be vice president for Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris dug up all of her dirty little secrets and put them out in the public domain.
We are doing it.
One of the things that Kamala dug up was that Karen Bass was a longtime admirer of Fidel Castro, the communist dictator down in Cuba. And I think when you hear her blame the press for playing those videos, and specifically the conservative press, what you're seeing is you're seeing those Castro roots kind of growing into that head of hers. Her roots are showing.
When you have a spectacular type crime happen like this, it does create a sense of fear. But one of the reasons it does is because it's exploited by the press, and especially the conservative press that wants to paint Los Angeles and many other Democratic-run cities as though we are in a crisis of crime, and that is not the case.
What she just articulated right there is an old-timey lefty view of the liberal media. And I say that because I remember I used to argue with these college professors that I had who, I guess you could regard them as Democrats. They voted that way, but what they were socialists or Marxists or whatever you want to call it. I mean, they really did believe in the textbook definition of socialism, the government should own the means of production. So I'm not even talking about a Bernie Sanders type. I'm talking about a government should own the means of production type. And they used to tell me that the news media, and we're not talking about Fox or Talk Radio or the Wall Street Journal, the mainstream news media, they regarded as right-wing because they were owned by rich people or corporations, so therefore these news organizations exist to push their agenda. So these professors would look me in the eye and say that the LA Times is a right-wing rag and CNN is a right-wing cable news channel and the New York Times is completely right-wing and the Washington Post is right-wing. And I would look at them and I would say, lay off the crack pipe. In no sane world are these organizations remotely right-wing. Now, you may have a point if you say that about Fox or talk radio or certain things. They certainly do lean right. But the LA Times is not right wing. Channel 2 is not right wing. Channel 4 is not right wing. Channel 5 is definitely not right wing. Spectrum, she probably regards them as fair.
Oh, she'll do interviews with them anytime they ask.
Oh, yeah, because they see the world the same way she does. But what she said right here, that's a throwback. That is a throwback from the 60s.
When you have a spectacular type crime happen like this, it does create a sense of fear. But one of the reasons it does is because it's exploited by the press, and especially the conservative press that wants to paint Los Angeles and many other Democratic-run cities as though we are in a crisis of crime, and that is not the case.
It is quite a stretch to report on a massive incident that happened that a whole bunch of people witnessed and took video of and call that exploitation.
They're not doctoring the videos. This is not AI. They're playing accurate videos of this actually happening.
This might be why at the task force press conference, when she was asked for the advice she would give to people witnessing this stuff, she said, put down the camera and call 911.
Right.
She doesn't want the videos out there.
Here's my prediction. I think at some point, the California legislature is going to make it illegal for us to show you these videos. And they'll come up with some excuse like they're minors and you can't show minors committing a crime because that would harm their ability to find employment when they become adults or get accepted to an academic institution when they become adults. There's going to be some BS excuse they come up with to prevent us from showing you those videos or from those videos appearing online.
I sure hope Reggie Jewin Sawyer isn't listening right now.
Well, did you see there was an article in Wired magazine that said that you should take your Ring doorbell out because people are recording crimes occurring on their property. The Amazon man drops off a box, someone steals your Amazon box, you put the video up on Nextdoor. And the piece that Wired magazine put out said that's leading to racial stereotyping.
What?
Yes. So they want you to remove your Ring doorbell cams so you don't have the ability to put up a picture of the person stealing your box.
If you get rid of the Ring doorbell cams, there will be zero content for people to fight about on Nextdoor.
I am of the belief that we get the government we deserve. If the people are upset with the performance of the district attorney, they need to read up enough about the performance of the district attorney and vote for someone else. And if and when the public gets fed up enough, at some point that will happen. It happened in San Francisco. It's happened other places. It can happen here too. But the public has to wake up. Same thing is true for Prop 47. Prop 47 was a total disaster. I don't blame the voters entirely for that because they were tricked by a very deceptive title and summary. Prop 47 has been awful for public safety in the state of California. If the voters wake up and take that off the books, life will improve here.
And there's been opportunities, even going back to 2020, where there was a bill on the ballot for you all to vote for that would severely weaken Prop 47 and turn some of these things back into felonies. That did not pass.
And again, you get the government you deserve. You pay attention, you engage, you vote, you can change it. It's not like aliens gave you the government that we have. The people of California chose the legislature. They voted for the propositions, and you can change it too.
And if you do think aliens gave us the government that we have, I believe there's a radio show you would like in the middle of the night.
That's very true. In the second incarnation. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Vince writes in to johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. I was watching Lester Holt on the NBC Nightly News the other night, and he kept replaying the video of the mob stealing the purses over and over again. I had no idea that Lester Holt was such a right-winger.
He's from Sacramento, you know.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a California boy. All right. If you would like to keep the party going after we sign off at 3 o'clock today, Randy, that's easy to do.
That's right. Go to KABC.com, click on podcasts, go to the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify, search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe. You could download all the episodes. You could search for The John Phillips Show on YouTube, subscribe to the playlist on there. There are so many different ways to listen to this show. And listening to the show will put you in a good mood, and you'll be the opposite of this.
And I want you to be all the way pissed off.
But right now it's time to open up the KABC Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And Randy, today's edition takes us to the city of Oakland.
Okay, now we're going to have to clarify which Oakland story we're going to now, because I got a bunch in here. We've got a smoke shop that's been broken into 10 times in the last 2 years. We've got Oakland business owners that are fed up with all the crime. We've got people using cars in Oakland to break into other businesses. Or we've got someone that broke into an auto repair shop to steal all the cars inside there in Oakland.
Let's do the smoke shop.
Okay, we're starting with a smoke shop that has been broken into 10 times in recent years. For more, here is KPIX.
Businesses in Oakland's Little Saigon district are begging for help. They say crime is out of control. They need...
They also apparently don't have a board up there that can lower the volume of the intro.
No, the music is so loud you can barely hear the anchor.
Businesses in Oakland's Little Saigon...
Budget cuts.
Businesses in Oakland's Little Saigon district are begging for help. They say crime is out of control. They need city leaders to step up.
Dahlin spoke to a fed-up business owner. Her store has been hit by burglars 10 different times.
Her profits are going up in smoke.
This store, Lucky 7 Cigarettes, isn't...
Not Lucky.
No.
This store...
She might have cursed herself by calling the store Lucky.
You got to change your name. At a certain point, if you want to be off the radar of the crooks, you can't call yourself Lucky 7 Cigarettes. You're just asking for it. It's like Target having the bullseye as their logo.
This store, Lucky 7 Cigarettes, isn't feeling very lucky these days.
Oh, boy. You knew that was coming, right?
This market is too big for that kind of writing.
This store, Lucky 7 Cigarettes, isn't feeling very lucky these days. Burglars have repeatedly targeted the store. The most recent was on Thursday. Surveillance video shows about 10 people in 4 different cars trying to break into the cigarette store at around 4:30 Thursday morning.
You need that many people to bump some ciggies?
Do you think they're stealing them for personal consumption or resale?
Can you buy cigarettes on eBay?
Those might be sold out of the trunk of a car.
It's located in a shopping plaza in Oakland's Little Saigon. The masked burglars attached a chain to the front metal gate. They used a Jeep to pull open the gate. Because the store has multiple gates and plywood to reinforce the entrance.
You build a better mousetrap, you get more violent mice. She's got multiple metal gates. She's been broken into so many times, and she's like the 3 little piggies and keeps building a stronger and stronger and stronger smoke shop, Lucky 7. And these guys use a Jeep to pry the gates off.
If you make better mousetraps, you end up with smarter mice.
Also, think about the scene. You know, this isn't a quick in and out. A process like that is going to take 10, 15 minutes at the least. And there are 0 police officers in Oakland that will respond to any of it.
Well, now to break into this shop, you need a welder, you need an engineer, you need a driver.
No wonder they needed 10 guys.
They used a Jeep to pull open the gate. Because the store has multiple gates and plywood to reinforce the entrance, the thieves could not get inside.
You got to feel real safe when you're inside Lucky 7.
No. Imagine being a legitimate paying customer, and you have to walk through everything but a moat to get to the store.
This has got to be one of those gas station convenience stores where it's like talking to a bank teller at the world's most secure bank facility, where just to buy the cigarettes, you've got to slide them under the door, and then they'll pick them up, then they'll scan them, but you are not having any physical interaction with this person.
Well, you know that the insurance companies now are asking for you to take pictures of your property and mail it in so they know what they're insuring. Imagine if you're the owner of the smoke shop and you take pictures of 7 different layers of security to get into your store, what your friendly neighborhood State Farm agent is going to say about that.
to reinforce the entrance. The thieves could not get inside. They took off, but the damage was done.
Oh, so it did work, except now she's out thousands of dollars in damage because they broke all the gates. But it shows you. She finally built that house of bricks, and the big bad wolf couldn't blow it down.
There you go. She's got a moral victory.
The thieves could not get inside. They took off, but the damage was done, causing the owner thousands of dollars to repair the storefront.
When I come to look at my store, I saw it, I cried because I heard.
No face because the owner fears for her safety. She says this is the 10th time since the pandemic. They've gone inside about 6 times.
So what is that, once every 3 months? No, maybe even less.
What do you do at this point to make a security system that'll work? If you've been robbed 10 times, you have 7 layers of security. This isn't the Gaza Strip.
Nicotine addiction is real, my friends.
They've gone inside about...
Their drive to get that carton of Cools made them pry off layer after layer after layer of metal security gates.
They've gone inside about 6 times. She shares...
Maybe it was Virginia Slims.
Well, maybe she needs to hire the Marlboro Man to be in charge of the security. She can lead the cavalry.
She shares photos of a previous burglary where they drove a car into the store. They left with cigarettes and cash.
So dramatic.
Well, that's the name of the game in Oakland. You steal somebody's car, and then that car is used as a battering ram to break into whatever business to steal what you really wanted to steal. You don't actually want the car. Nobody wants a Kia.
No, she's not going to like that. How about an Impala?
Maybe I can keep my store, maybe I close.
So you thought about closing the store?
Yeah, maybe if, some of the guy come to my store a lot of time, right? Pocket more.
She's fortified her store using plywood and 2 metal gates, yet they keep coming back.
These guys are persistent.
We really need to investigate.
Maybe they figure because there are so many metal gates guarding this smoke shop, there's got to be something real precious on the inside.
When you're eating a bag of pistachios and you see one that your fingernail can't even get into to crack it open so you can eat it, you say to yourself, oh, out of the whole bag, this is going to be the best one there. I've got to do it. And you spend 45 minutes trying to get into that one pistachio.
We really need to investigate these type of incidents, collect fingerprint, DNA, whatever.
Jim Nguyen is with the Little Saigon Business Improvement District. He says because burglaries are considered low priority, the police department doesn't have the resources to investigate.
You're on your own?
Yep. Doesn't matter. That's the same people coming and battering down your store every 3 months for 3 years. There's nothing the Oakland police can do because they're short-staffed.
Sounds like my HOA.
He says that needs to change. The police department reports burglaries have gone up 42% this year compared to last.
I wonder what changed in Oakland this year as compared to last year.
Oh, it's the weather. It's summer, you know.
Or is it?
Quite frankly.
The police department...
It's Hurricane Pamela.
The police department reports burglaries have gone up 42% this year compared to last. Jim also wants the city to reimburse businesses and pay for the damage.
Oakland's already broke. How broke do you think they're going to be if they have to start reimbursing for every broken piece of glass or pried off metal gate?
Well, they don't have the money to buy this woman an 8th gate.
She got an estimate of how much this thing will cost her. Well, the city should do something about it.
Lin Trung owns a supermarket in Little Saigon. The Vietnam War survivor says many businesses are losing money because shoppers tell her Oakland is too dangerous.
Vietnam right now better, the war, and then come here like a war again, the war too. I don't know.
She's saying that this is worse than Vietnam during the war.
Play that again.
Vietnam right now better.
Shoppers tell her Oakland is too dangerous.
Vietnam right now better, the war, and then come here like a war again, the war too. I don't know. We are survive or not.
The cigarette.
Oh, God.
You know what? I don't think she's being a drama queen.
No. She feels less safe in Oakland in 2023 than when she actually lived in Vietnam during the Vietnam War.
That is quite a statement.
The cigarette store owner says 25 years in business, never this bad.
I hope the city, they held some of the business and held my store.
The owner says she's lost tens of thousands of dollars. She's not aware of any arrests in her cases.
The Oakland Council president says the city is trying to support small business by spending some money on things like safety improvements for small business.
How about spending money making sure that 911 works?
They don't have the money for that.
Do you see that was down in Palm Springs this weekend, too?
Oh, boy.